in the performance industry, one of the most exciting things for me is the innovation of new tuning technology and figuring out new cars. Here we are in a 2008. Let me turn this music down a little bit. It's a beautiful car, man. 2008 WRX. It's a really nice car. We have the Flash Can by Ecutek. We're tuning this car with a new Stage 2 setup with a cold air intake and a dual exhaust 3-inch, actually 4-inch to 3-inch to 2.5-inch split muffler. Let's turn the music off for a minute. As you can see, at idle with the windows up, the tone is very pleasant. Outside you can hardly hear it. It has a really nice tone once you rev it up. Sweet tone. It sounds, I gotta tell you, the Boxer sound has been revolutionized with this new twin exhaust. Later on I'm going to put the camera towards the back so you can hear the sound. Let me just get the dyno tools going here, and then what we'll do is we'll do a pull with Stage 2 here with just a reflash stock fuel pump and the Stage 2 setup. This car is making huge torque. I mean, huge. It's really running good. Anyway, let's do a pull. You can hear the sound of the muffler. It's a really nice tone. I'm going to do a pull here. Long gears. Okay, let's see what we got here. Wow, that's some shocking numbers. All right, let's see what we got. Torque 352, power 244. We previously made 252 and 240. Looks like we need a little bit of tuning at this higher boost level. Really nice looking, by the way. The hard to see this light, but the dual tips are really hot, and I like the way the back end of the car looks. I'm not completely sold on the styling of this car yet. It does have a lot more room though, especially in the back seat. We have the seats all the way back, and they're still, you know, it's comfortable. You got a lot of headroom in the back, a lot of headroom when you're sitting in this car. Here's the cold air intake. Really nice. So the intercooler really sucks, and the blow-off valve I think is contributing to some serious problems because it's really a plastic piece of shit. So those are some things that we need to work on. I'm going to try to push it up to about 250 to the wheels, about 330, 340 foot-pounds of torque, and we'll see how it runs. Don't forget, this is on pump gas, no alcohol. Stage 2, 2008 WRX. Really a fascinating ECU, the 2008 WRX. What I'm seeing here is that we need some more hardware. The blow-off valve is leaking significantly. We tested this previously with a plastic blow-off valve on a 2008 Legacy car that we were tuning. The stock blow-off valve is terrible. We're going to have to make some modification of that if we're going to realize the kind of power we're trying to achieve. The ECU is really just amazing. The technology and the stock ECU is out of this world. We're going to do another pull here. Let's just make sure our coolant temps, we've got to get them up to the right level before we do these pulls. And I really like the car. A lot of room inside. It's a very quiet cabin compared to the old WRX. With the suspension they have in the WRX, I don't really have the same type of feel handling wise as I did with the old one. This car seems a little heavier, more like a legacy type car. Come down real low so we can take advantage of that small spooling turbo. It really lights up fast. Okay, took some power off the table here to get it to run a little smoother, but it's still making some decent power and torque. The torque is still up. Wow, made more torque, 356. One of the things I'm learning about this car that's very interesting is it doesn't react to the dyno as easily as some of the other cars. There's some traction control and stability control lights that are going off occasionally. Some fascinating things we're looking at here with the Ecutek software. I don't want to reveal too much information, but in the new 2008 ECU, there's individual cylinder trims, and what we were looking at here was the fact that cylinder number 4 is tuned much richer than the other cylinders by Subaru, and it's interesting how that's always the cylinder that breaks. Something very interesting about the way the engine works. Possibly related to the way that the intake manifold works, or possibly related to the fuel rail and the fact that the fuel pressure regulator is set up in such a way that cylinder number 4 always gets the fuel last. Increase of fuel pressure. You're Mark, right?
Yeah, what's going on?
Welcome to ICS Performance.
How you doing?
You're the owner of this fine WRX?
Yes, I am.
You have some fast cars, so coming from those fast cars, this thing is awfully slow, huh?
Awfully slow. We gotta wake it up.
We're making some progress here. Let me show you what we got. Let me just walk you through the tail of the tape here. I'm pretty happy with the results that we're achieving with this car. Just to give you an idea of what we've done a lot of dyno pulls with it. We started off at a pretty anemic power level. Alright, so here we go. Here's our before and after. You can see that before we were stuck with an anemic 224 torque and 198 horsepower. Now we're making 253 horsepower and 358 foot-pounds of torque. You can see the area under the curve here. The car spools up a lot faster and harder, and it just hits massive amount of torque improvement down here at around 2,800 RPMs. It's almost fully spooled up. It's like a ridiculous torque monster. Let me just get this thing to zoom in here. So down low it's going to be an animal, but the problem is with the tiny little turbo. See, it's spooling up at 2,800, man. It's just ridiculous. With the tiny little turbo, by the time we get up to the top here, it just doesn't have a lot of lungs. After about 5,000 RPM, where it reaches, power starts to fall down. It's just a tiny little turbo. I also think that the blow-off valve is causing us some problems. So,
yeah, we need a new blow-off valve. We got to do a lot of things to this baby.
That blow-off valve right there is just a piece of junk, you know. And right now, my supplier Forge is out of them. I'm going to try to source another one to try to get a blow-off valve on here and see what difference it makes. But I'll be honest with you, I'm pretty happy. Our peak, if you look at the peak spot, if you look at the cursor here, you look at our peak number, we went from 356, from 220 to 356, so we gained 136 foot-pounds of torque at 3,000 RPM.
That's good.
That's a big improvement for just reflash and an exhaust. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, intake, exhaust, and reflash. So I mean, it's like a stage 2, which is a very basic setup. You know, something I may want to recommend to you would be a STI turbo and intercore. That way we can make the same torque or possibly more, and then we could step it up into a 300 horsepower club.
All right, we'll talk about it.
Right now we're stuck at 253 peak. Well, I'm pretty impressed with the difference. I'm going to print this sheet out and post it up on the internet.